Gorillas. It's me. I'm back. I'm still alive. I know it's been a few weeks. I have I apologize for the lack of content. I've been working on these videos for a little while, but I got sick. COVID kicked my butt for like a few weeks. And then of course another year at college, so you got to move in and do all that fun stuff. But I am back. This is real. And I hope you like monkeys because today we're talking about the big monkey. Not gorilla, but the monkey of monkeys, Gigantopithecus. That name is familiar to people who have played the video game Ark Survival Evolved. It was once a useless tame, and then they did a update to it. It became cool. It's also just a big meme. Another reason you may have heard of this is you're probably a conspiracy theorist or a cryptozoologist at heart, like I am. A lot of people who think that Bigfoot is real, yes, this guy, the Sasquatch, they think it might be Gigantopithecus. Is there any evidence for that? No, but it's fun to think about it because this thing's like 8 foot tall and a giant. But as you know, Gigantopithecus is the extinct genus of ape that lived in southern China from like 2 million years ago to about 200,000 years ago. It's a Pleistocene dinosaur. And it has been known to be found in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Not in the United States, unfortunately. So if you really do think that the Bigfoot you see in your backyard somewhere in Appalachia is a Gigantopithecus, it's probably not. I hate to break it to you. And if you do discover a Sasquatch in your backyard, I would seriously hope that you try to take a picture of it and make sure it's not blurry like these I have up here. But anyways, getting out of the science fiction aspect, which hopefully is actually true, but we don't really know, we're going to talk about how this thing was discovered. And let me tell you, it is the most crazy thing I've ever read in my life. So, Gigantopithecus was actually discovered because of a German-Dutch paleontologist named J.H.R. von Koningswald. Now, he actually identified Gigantopithecus about 100 years ago. Now, what he did is he found these large teeth in China, which were sold as medicinal things. They thought they were, quote, dragon bones. So in Hong Kong, they would find these bones and fossils, and they would actually use them as medicinal herbs. They still do. And this paleontologist just happened to find some in a drugstore. He looked at them, he said, wait, these are actually probably extinct molars. And that was the original finding of Gigantopithecus. He is the one that discovered it because he was happening to look at what the dragon bones were. Which is funny because, quote, dragon bones are actually a big monkey. Quite a disappointment, if you ask me. But still, pretty cool nonetheless. After he pretty much talked about his finding, the Chinese Paleontological Society, they did more investigations into these medicinal bones and found almost 100 of these. And from the years about 1957 1963, the survey teams found about 1,000 teeth and 4 molars. Using these molars and these teeth, they were able to identify and estimate the size of this animal. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about, though, the original classification, which, for some reason, they first thought it could have been a hominid, which is interesting because once you look at Gigantopithecus now and these artist renditions, it looks very similar to an orangutan. So the original idea is that it may have been more similar of anthropology or connection to like Homo erectus and Australopithecus, but later on we realized that it's just simply not the case. It is now classified in the subfamily of Ponkinae, which I'm probably mispronouncing, but Ponkinae is more related to living orangutans, much like what it looks like. So, no, we are not related to the giant Gigantopithecus. That just doesn't make any sense. It'd be hilarious, but it's just not the truth. Even though you probably have an uncle who looks sort of like that, we're not related to him. That's how science works. Speaking of how science works, the size estimates have been very controversial. Yes, because we only found molars and teeth, we are trying to guess what it looks like, which is very difficult to do. The total size estimates are kind of all over the place. Right now, the general consensus was made by a man named P. He estimated a total height of approximately 12 feet. So yes, this thing could have been 12 feet tall. Now that's on it's standing on its back legs. That's usually not the case with a Gigantopithecus. It probably stood crawling on its fours, and that was probably only about 6-7 feet tall. The size estimates, the weight could be up to 600 pounds, which is heavy. That is like 35 to 40% heavier than an average male gorilla. that is massive. So imagine seeing one of these if you're an early human, which was actually very much possible. It would probably, I don't even know what I'd react to it. I'd probably lose my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people lost their mind when they looked at this thing. Um, but it's a lot larger than gorillas. Probably a quarter, 25% larger is the estimation. But we really don't know how to guess what it is because we don't have complete remains of it. Um, but we'll put up some artist renditions of what it looked like, and it's very reminiscent, I should say, of orangutans, but just absolutely gigantic. So yeah, Gigantopithecus lives up to its name. Pretty cool. Now we know Gigantopithecus is absolutely giant, but does that mean it eats people or other animals at the time? We do not believe it does, but the first actual belief is that it was actually a cave predator, which is absolutely terrifying. They originally found teeth, and these teeth showed signs of stress. They were also not as flat as most herbivores. They had some kind of um, sharpness to them. So a lot of people thought maybe they were actually carnivorous at some point. Um, it's not believed to be the case anymore. Because when they first found these teeth, they were in like this very inaccessible part of a mountain in China, and it was very, very, very difficult to get to and get out. So people thought that maybe these things got trapped or they lived in these caves and they probably ate the stuff inside. That is probably not really the case anymore. It was probably more of a herbivore kind of animal. Um, the teeth had very thick enamel in them, and it could suggest some kind of functionality for these teeth. But we believe that, much like giant pandas, it probably has the same bamboo. It probably ate bamboo a lot. And the reliance on bark and twigs and the nutrition probably led to this thing's demise. It probably just ran out of it. And that's probably honestly why Gigantopithecus is extinct. It just ran out of the food it needed. And it honestly is kind of lame sounding to say this thing probably was not this ferocious monster we think of it as. But I think that's still pretty cool because it probably just did its own thing. Probably just sat in the woods, eating bamboo, and being gigantic. Pretty cool if you ask me. But this is where it gets a little fun because, as I mentioned earlier, cryptozoologists love this thing, and you might ask why. Well, have you ever seen what the Yeti probably looked like? Here it is. It looks similar. A lot of people think maybe, well, what if the Yeti is a surviving Gigantopithecus or even Bigfoot? I couldn't tell you if it is. I really hope it is, because that'd be super cool. But there is absolutely no evidence for that, so I can't say it is. My friend here, Grover Krantz, who is the, American anthropologist, cryptozoologist, this man was convinced it was, and he tried to find a connection from like the 1970s up until he died in like the early 2000s, and he came up with nothing. He found no proof, but he found a lot of false or confirmation bias connections. But at least he tried, because that'd be really cool if he discovered a living Gigantopithecus in the Himalayan mountains. But he didn't. So I guess it's possible it could be around. Who knows? It'd be cool. If you find a giant monkey thing living in the Himalayas that looks like a Gigantopithecus, it's probably a Gigantopithecus. But unfortunately, all evidence points to an extinction around 290,000 years ago. So yes, that is the quick video describing one of the weirdest animals in the Pleistocene era, the Gigantopithecus. I hope you guys had fun watching and enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make. I about died 2 times making this because I was so sick. So if my voice sounds a little off, just know I soldiered through it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, all the support in the old videos. You guys are doing you guys are amazing. I mean, I can't believe we got this many views in the last video. That's a lot. So if you guys keep liking and subscribing and commenting down below what I could work on, or if any inaccuracies I have, please let me know. Or just comment below what you want to make a video on. I will do it. I have a list. I'm still working on this list. I don't know when it's going to be done, but it will be done. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good one, and good night.